What makes us human? Some things jump to mind. We walk on two legs, we have nearly hairless skin, we have big brains, culture, and language. But there's another. We sweat. Far from being gross and primal, our ability to sweat actually separates us from the rest of the animal world, in that we can sweat more than any other animal. Some primates, closely related to us, can also cool off by sweating, but our sweating capacity, enabled by some 2 million glands in the skin covering our bodies, gives us the ability to run and walk long distances in the heat, which would have been very beneficial to our early ancestors evolving in Africa. So despite the significance of sweating in the human evolutionary story, there's a lot that we don't know. It remains largely unexplored. Some of what we do know dates back to research from the early 20th century by a Japanese researcher named Kuno, who hypothesized that sweat glands become active after birth for about the first 2.5 years of life, and thereafter, some of those glands will remain inactive for life, never to be useful. Now, the problems here are that no one has tested these ideas, and no one has put these into an evolutionary framework. My research aims to do both of those things. So specifically, my research questions are as follows. 1, was Kuno right? Do some glands actually remain inactive for life? 2, if so, what is driving gland activation? I think it's climate. I hypothesize that a baby born in a hot climate will have greater gland activation, thus preparing that individual for a hot, sweating environment as an adult later in life. 3, what are the implications of this sweat gland ratio on one's ability to sweat? Surely there's a relationship here, and I'd like to measure it. So by asking these questions, I'm hoping to develop an evolutionary understanding of human sweat glands and their activation, one that views sweat gland activation as a balance, a trade-off between two competing demands that our ancestors would have faced. One of those demands is the need to sweat, to do physical activity and cool off. The second competing demand is the need to conserve water, and it's easy to imagine that it'd be very easy to be dehydrated in the African savanna in which our ancestors evolved. So to test these ideas, I've developed a novel method using dental impression material, actually, of taking skin impressions and using high-powered microscopy, we can identify active and inactive sweat glands. So I will use these methods and recruit a diverse population of volunteers who've grown up in different climate backgrounds. I'll count their glands and attempt to see if there's any correlation between climate of origin, childhood climate, and your sweat gland ratios. Next, I'll be making these people sweat a lot. Okay? Thank you.